This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.
If you are watching this is your sign that it's time for you to be more of a witch with a capital B. So, my name is Keshia Rice, and if you've never tuned in before, I am a dating coach and hypnotherapist. I help ambitious women learn how to heal their unhealthy relationship patterns so that they can attract cherished, happy, satisfying love. And we're talking about the fact that, again, if you are a good girl, you most definitely will finish last in life. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but it is really important that we get rid of this stereotype, this myth that society keeps putting onto women, that if they put everyone else in their lives before them, eventually those people will return the favor and make them happy. That is not how it works. And we have to keep in mind that we teach people how to treat us. So if you are constantly telling people, oh, I don't need very much, I don't require very much, I'm chill, I'm low maintenance, then people in your life are going to treat you as if you're chill and low maintenance, and they're not going to give you very much because you've made it clear that you don't expect very much. This applies to your romantic relationships, this applies to your friendships, family. We are human. We look out for our own needs. We do the best that we can to preserve ourselves and our energy. So if there are people in our life telling us they don't require much care, don't require much time, don't require that much attention, and we can still have a relationship with them, then who wouldn't take someone up on that offer? Like, okay, cool. You don't require much to maintain this relationship. So sure, I'll take you up on that. I'll have a relationship with you, especially when you're doing all of these things. You're so kind to me. You're so gracious to me. You're so giving towards me. And I don't have to do very much in return. That sounds awesome. So, of course, I am going to take you up on that offer. I'm going to take advantage of that. This is the way that other people will see that situation. They may not consciously see it that way. As a hypnotherapist, that's one of the things that I am constantly focused on, how people unconsciously or subconsciously think. So they may not consciously look at it as, I'm getting this bargain and I'm going to take advantage of it, but that is how they will behave because it is human nature. So instead of looking for some reward at the end of a magical rainbow that doesn't exist because you think that your suffering is going to make it where you deserve better treatment eventually, sometime in the future, that if you constantly put up with people's shenanigans, eventually they'll say, oh, wow, she is so great. She has put up with so much. Therefore, we need to give back to her. It's not going to happen. You have to understand that closed mouths don't get fed. Okay? So if you want to be in a happy and healthy relationship, you have to make your needs known and you have to have needs. It's not being a needy person, it is being a person with standards and with boundaries. People respect people who have standards and have boundaries. If you give people, particularly men, if you give them a challenge, they will put themselves up to the challenge and they will live up to it. If you tell people that you require certain things in order to be in a relationship, then the people who don't care about you are going to bow out. And that's great because they don't care about you. They were going to take advantage of you anyways. Those are not people that you want in your life. The people who really do care about you, who want to get to know you better, who want to have a deeper relationship with you or want to maintain a good relationship with you, they will live up to those boundaries. They will live up to those standards. They will say, okay, if this is what you require to be in relationship with you, then yes, I am willing to do these things. When you tell people that you expect to be treated well, when you show people that you expect to be treated well by how you carry yourself, by how you take care of yourself, you treat yourself well, so therefore you expect it out of other people, then people live up to that. Or if they don't live up to it, again, they leave. And either way, you are better for it. Again, society has conditioned us to believe that being the good girl is the key to a successful life. Let me ask you, in real life, think of the people in your lives who are good girls or even good boys, the ones who are always making other people happy, the ones who are always striving to be attentive to other people's needs. Are they living the life that you want to live? I am willing to bet money that the answer is no, because all of the so called good girls and good boys that I know in my life, they are constantly stressed. They are always tired. They have aged. They look older than what they actually are. It has taken a toll on both their mental health and their physical health, constantly having their ears on what other people want, what other people need. When other people tell them to jump, they say how high, and it has stressed them the F out. Okay. And I especially see this in, people who are older generations than me, and not even necessarily a lot older. I'm a millennial, but I definitely know some Gen X people and yes, some boomers who have spent their whole lives waiting for this reward that, if you were younger, if you're in your 20s or 30s, if you're looking for that reward at the end of the rainbow, I can tell you where it ends. It ends in you being in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, still looking for that reward, still hoping that somebody is going to acknowledge how good you are, still hoping that somebody is going to finally validate you by giving you the treatment that you've been working so hard for your entire life, but you've never truly asked for, that you've never actually demanded, that you've never set those expectations. So, therefore, people are living up to the expectations that you have set. If you put the bar low, then people are going to uphold that low bar. So here's how you change that. You first start taking better care of yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out and buy yourself the most expensive things, or that you have to like go into debt, or that you can only wear designer or only eat at the finest restaurants. You know what taking care of yourself would look like. That can mean getting more sleep. It can mean, looking your best when you leave the house. Again, doesn't have to be the fanciest or designer, but wearing clothes that aren't wrinkled, taking the time to iron or steam your clothes. It means taking the time to make sure that your hair is presentable. You don't necessarily have to put on a whole bunch of makeup or anything, but take care of your skin. Wear sunscreen, use a moisturizer, but do these little things to take care of yourself. Give yourself the mental health breaks that you need. Give yourself rest when you need it. And you'll notice that as you start to do these things, you will feel better. As you treat yourself better, other people will treat you better as well because they see that you have a standard for yourself, right? So once you show that you have the standard in the way that you take care of yourself, in the way that you treat yourself, then start setting these boundaries and standards with other people. Let people know what is and what isn't acceptable. For example, I like to get my rest. So I tell family, friends, whatever, that, hey, it is a boundary of mine that I don't take phone calls past a certain period, past a certain time at night. No text messages or anything either. And yes, when I first set that boundary, people tried it. People tried to still call me, or they would text me and say, I know you said that you'd be in bed by this time, but I'm texting you to see if you're up instead. But I upheld that boundary. If people called me or sent me text messages past that time, I simply ignored them. I had my phone on silent or do not disturb, and I didn't return any phone calls or messages until the next day. Eventually, people took the hint, right? So you have to set these boundaries, you have to set these standards, and you have to make your expectations known. Then the other thing that you need to do is, as these situations come up, if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, if they do something that you find not to be respectful, again, closed mouths don't get fed. You don't have to be mean with it, you don't have to be nasty with it, but you can say, hey, I really didn't appreciate that. I didn't find that to be respectful. And again, the people who care about you, the people who want to be in deep relationship with you, they are going to respect these new standards that you are setting. And the people who don't are not worth your time to begin with. So remember that we teach others how to treat us. We teach them by the way that we treat ourselves, and we teach them by simply telling them. And what comes out of your mouth becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep saying that you don't require much, you are not going to get very much. But when you let people know, hey, I expect to be treated well, that's the type of treatment that you will receive. So I hope you enjoy this, and I will talk to you soon. But in the meantime, consider this a journal prompt for you. Where are my standards right now? Where should my standards be? And what things can I do in order to teach people how to treat me better? Love you so much. Bye.
Hey there. So you made it all the way to the end of the episode, which means I have two things to say. One, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And two, you like me. You really like me. So I would appreciate it if you would show that like by subscribing to this podcast so that more people can hear about it and enjoy it as much as you do. And if you want to know more about any of the links that I mentioned on this episode or any guests that I've had, be sure to go to KeshiaRice.com/links. That's KeshiaRice.com/links. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode. So see you then.